What is going on, everyone? It is time to do a requested video. Now, I get requests all the time about different locations and subjects on every single video. The second most requested video I get is best places for families. It comes in second, right behind top 10 reasons Briggs should die a slow death. Yes, I get that one a lot. Most of the time it comes from people in New Jersey or Philly. Anyway, according to Google, best places for families is one of the most searched terms when it comes to travel and relocating. It makes sense. A lot of humans have little humans that they created and want to make sure those smaller versions of themselves have an opportunity to grow and flourish. One of the first steps you would take, I imagine, would be to do a little research. Now, there can be thousands of places that could slip into these categories. Best places to raise a family, it's very subjective. So what I've relied on for this video is you. Over the last year, I've written down suggestions from subscribers. I compiled a list of 75 and I did some research. I looked at crime, housing costs, schools, cost of living, and healthcare accessibility. Now, I'll tell you right off the bat, California and New York got eliminated because of costs. Hands down, they're just way too expensive for most families starting out. Say about 90% of them. That being said, why don't you gather up the family, sit around the computer screen, and watch my top 10 best places to raise a family in the US. The viewer's version. Number 10, Wylie, Texas. Wylie is home to about 50,000 residents and is located just 35 minutes from Dallas. 76% of the population is under 50, which means if you're a young family, there are plenty of people in your shoes to talk to. You can all meet up at the local Starbucks and discuss diaper cream or something. High school graduation rates in Wylie are higher than the national average, at 96%. A school is normally considered doing great if their grad rate is right around 88%. The national average is 84%. And the cherry on top of the Wylie, Texas cupcake is NSYNC Exotics. I know that sounds like a 1990s strip club. It's not. What it is a sanctuary that provides a permanent home for over 70 rescued exotic cats. Lions, tigers, panthers, that type of thing. Take the night tour. It's totally worth it. Did it a couple of years ago. It was really nice. Number 9, Dickinson, North Dakota. Since the oil boom in North Dakota, Dickinson has become one of the best cities for families in the area. The city has an unemployment rate of only about 2%, with the economy centered around energy, farming, ranching, and manufacturing. Keep in mind this is 2017 stats, the last completed year. The unemployment rates do fluctuate pretty bad in North Dakota depending on oil prices, but Dickinson has almost zero crime. Currently, the crime rate in Dickinson is 24% lower than the national average. The schools are pretty good in Dickinson as well. The student-to-teacher ratio is 11 students to every teacher on average. And that's really low. And that's a really low ratio. My son's freshman class in Los Angeles about 8 years ago was 46-1. That means there was 46 kids in a class with one teacher. Stupid. Number 8, Fishers, Indiana. Fishers is a very tight-knit community in Indiana despite the large population of 80,000 residents. The city is very big on preserving the nature of the area with 24 parks, like 104 miles of walking and biking trails. They like their outdoors. They're just 30 minutes north of downtown Indianapolis, so it's not like you gotta go far for entertainment. It's right there. I mean, if you consider anything that goes on in Indianapolis entertainment. Saw a Colts game there one time and they lost miserably. Fishers has good jobs, low crime, and great schools. This is one of the best suburbs in the United States. None of the stats are extreme. Nothing terribly bad, nothing extremely good. They're just a little above average on everything, which is good. Number 7, Naperville, Illinois. Naperville offers an extremely low crime rate that is 54% lower than the national average. If you ever watch Fox News, you wouldn't expect this considering how close it is to Chicago. For some reason, Fox News is big on depicting Chicago as this lawless, post-apocalyptic city. It's not. It's actually a very nice city with a few bad neighborhoods. And before you say they're the murder capital of the world, stop typing. They're not. They have almost 3 million people. The next closest has a quarter of that. Anyway, not only is it insanely safe in Naperville, the city also boasts over 30 parks for you and your family to relax and enjoy. Spend some time together. Go to Rib Fest. It's a good time. The only knock on Naperville is the cost. Housing is up there and the cost of living in general is pretty high too. But it's so beautiful and it's so safe. The schools are decent. Good place to live. Number 6. Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Highlands Ranch is just a quick drive or light rail ride away from Denver. It's an easy commute, trust me. As for the schools in the area, Highlands Ranch offers 9 private schools and 21 public schools. The overall graduation rate in Highlands Ranch is 91%. Like I said before, anything over 87 is a solid number. If you don't know already, the entire state of Colorado is a great place for families. There's always something to do and you'll never get bored doing outdoor activities in Colorado. Unless you're a shut-in, then it probably doesn't matter where you live, does it? I mean, if you're making a life for yourself in your parents' basement, it could be just as cozy in Detroit as Colorado, right? Highlands Ranch is probably the best place for families in Colorado. Number 5. Omaha, Nebraska. Omaha has a very low unemployment rate of 3%, and they actually have a workforce shortage right now. The 3% comes from people that are normally unable to work, or pretty much unwilling, but they have more jobs than they have people willing to work right now. The housing costs are so low in Omaha, the average homeowner only spends about 22% of their average household income on their monthly mortgage or rent, while the national average spends about 36%. Now, once you get past the fact that you're moving to Omaha, you can settle in and appreciate the city for what it is, a great place to raise a family. Other than crime being a tad bit above average, Omaha kills it in almost every other category. Schools are great, cost of living and housing are dirt cheap, and there's a ton of stuff to do with your family. And for the person that keeps asking me why I don't include going to church as something to do, okay, you can go to church in Omaha, Nebraska. There, now maybe you can quit trying to debate me this via email. Stop typing. In case anyone's watching this video and doesn't know, you can actually go to church in what I'm sure is every place I've ever mentioned in the US. Omaha has a really nice zoo also. Besides going to church, you can go to the zoo. Are you happy? Number 4, Madison, Wisconsin. Madison is a great place to be when you want to move your family to a more affordable area that's also really safe. Madison has a strange stat. They're one of the least moved out of cities in the United States, meaning people don't like to leave Madison, and that should tell you something about them. The average home price is about $215,000, which is slightly higher than the Wisconsin average, but still, that's pretty low for a really nice city. Oftentimes, when you have low housing prices, the crime rate is through the roof. Not here, not in Madison. Madison is safer than a third of the U.S. cities, and the total crime year over year has been steadily decreasing by 3%. Those are some good numbers, and they have really good beer in Madison. I know that's not kid-friendly, but still, they do. Number 3, Morrisville, North Carolina. Morrisville embraces that charming, beautiful southern architecture the way it should be done. The parks are amazing with trees that offer shade for nice walks almost any time of the year. Summers can get a little hot and humid just like most of the South, but Morrisville, North Carolina makes up for it with some of the best stats of almost any city on the East Coast. Next to zero crime and great schools. They're not too far from Raleigh, which is a good thing. Raleigh is a unique city. It is a college town, however, unlike many other college towns, Raleigh is very family-oriented. Morrisville, North Carolina is a great place. Number 2, Honesdale, Pennsylvania. Honesdale, Pennsylvania is what I consider the best small town in America. If they were going to bring back the Andy Griffith Show, Honesdale would be the perfect place to film Mayberry. If you don't understand that reference, you're welcome. I just gave you something to talk to your grandparents about. Honesdale High School has a 91% graduation rate. They have the Wayne County Library, which is housed in one of the coolest old buildings I've ever been in. It's right there off Main. It's really cool. There's far too many outdoor activities for me to list in an 8 to 10 minute video. But if you like fishing and hunting, move to Honesdale. The place overflows with history, including Irving Cliff and the Jewel of Honesdale, the historic Hotel Wayne. And if you don't know who Irving Cliff, it's named after Washington Irving. He used to visit Honesdale a lot, and he used to sit and have lunch on this cliff that overlooks the town. Washington Irving, who's the writer who wrote The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Rip Van Winkle, in case you don't know. Again, talk to your grandparents. And as far as the healthcare goes, they have the Wayne Memorial Hospital right off Main Street. This is a small town with a giant hospital. The hospital services the whole county pretty much, but it's right in the middle of town pretty much, for the most part. And number 1, Overland Park, Kansas. Overland Park is one of the best places to live with kids in the United States. Now, I heard stories about this place long before I actually paid it a visit in 2016. Everything seems to slow down a bit in Overland Park. People don't seem to be angry or in a rush. I actually had a cop see me getting ready to fly a drone while I was in Overland Park. He got out of his car, walked over, said, hey, you're kind of close to these homes. Do me a favor and be respectful of the residents' privacy so I don't get a bunch of calls. And then he said, please. He was totally cool. Just a nice guy that wanted no extra drama while he was working. It was pleasant. It was nice. The public school system is great. Very good reviews, very high test scores. The median age in the city is only 38 years old, which means if you're a young family, there will be a lot of other families for you to relate to. The most amazing thing about this place is the fact that it's, for the most part, a suburb of Kansas City, Missouri, which is right on the border. Anyway, I'm Kansas City. It's just there. And they still maintain that small town vibe. It's amazing. Overland Park, Kansas is the best city in the United States to raise a family in, easily. Alright, so that's my top 10 best places to raise a family. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget all the links below. Hit the button, hit the like button, subscribe button if you already haven't. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.